Good morning, everybody. This is Bernie from Stampin', and welcome back to another card making session with me. I am so pleased to have you with me this morning, another Friday card making session. And this morning I thought I would show you a gorgeous card that was inspired by Jackie Williams. But I changed it up a little bit in terms of the stamp set that I used and the colors. But the basic design is one that you can create using whatever you have in your supplies. And this is one of those great cards when if you see something that's been demonstrated on YouTube or on a card on Pinterest and you don't have what the demonstrator has shown you, you can take whatever you've got. So this card, you will notice I've combined the paper from the current celebration, Sunshines and Rainbows. I think that's a Sunshine and Rainbow. There it is over there. And it's 6 by 6 and it is absolutely gorgeous. So that's the quick look on that side. And then on the opposite side, it's got these sort of colors. So I am on to my second pack already, and I'm going to be featuring, just to do it a bit differently, I'm featuring this paper in the background, and I am featuring, let me see if I can find it, the green polka dot. So that's the Sunshine and Rainbow paper, and that comes as a free gift with purchase to the value of 110 New Zealand excluding shipping, and that offer for South Pacific is extended until the 16th of March. So if you love what I'm going to do today with the paper, be sure to place an order with me for $110 New Zealand and you'll get that for free. Yippee! And that's also obviously while stocks last. I'm also going to be featuring this stamp set, which is the Friendly Hello stamp set that is also a free gift with purchase, but this one is a level 2, so it comes with paper as well as the stamp, and I'll be featuring a lot. And I did a card previously when I showed you how I used the stamp set, but I want to combine this one and the Sunshine and Rainbow papers today. So a very beautiful card that's got a little bit of coloring in it that we'll be doing. It's going to be also featuring just some easy stamping, and honestly I made a batch of these for our local church Sunday school kiddies, and I did use the same paper, but in the background I did the Happy Hedgehog stamp being little ones. So it really you can do it as you please. So let's get started with that, and you'll see soon enough how easy it is to make this card. So you're going to need, I like to use a thick cardstock when I'm making a card that's got multiple layers, just so that it supports the weight of it. You're going to need some basic white thick cardstock, cut at 8 1/4 by 5.5 inches, scored at 4 1/8. And if all of this is all new to you and it sounds like I'm speaking a language that you don't understand, be sure to go and look at my video from last week where I do a quick video of how I maximize cutting my cardstock to get different orientations. So we're going with a traditional card today, and I scored that and did that with my bone folder to get a nice crease. Then you're going to need some embossed, also better if it's on thick white cardstock, 5 3/8 by 4 inches, and that is going to be glued on there. We'll get to that shortly. Then you need some designer series paper of your choice, and this one needs to be cut at 5 1/8 by 3 3/4. Do just make sure that if it's a directional paper, as this one is, that when you cut it, you're always cutting the narrower one first and then you're cutting the width, because you can land up, if you do that accidentally the wrong way around, that you may have the wrong orientation of your paper. And then Most of Stampin' Up! Designer Series paper has a complementary back, which this one would have worked perfectly, but I actually wanted just something softer, and so I opted for this one to go with it, and this needs to be cut at 5" by 3 5/8. So those are the Designer Series paper measurements, so that's going to go there. And then the last piece of paper you need is a plain piece of white, 4 7/8 by 3 1/2". Okie dokie. So this is really, really simple card making. So with your embossed piece, you can choose any embossing folder that you want to use for this design. You just simply place it on the card front. Just make sure you give it a nice press, because it is embossed and it doesn't always go in to all the nooks and crannies that are created. Then with the larger piece of your Designer Series paper, glue that slightly off center. So if I bring that up to the camera, you can see that it's not straight. And again, just press in, especially if you've got a design that's got a few bumps. Then with the smaller piece, again, gluing it, and this time you're gluing it to the opposite direction that you glued the previous one, but also making sure that you get to see the background of the paper. So if I bring it up to the camera, you can see a hint of your Designer Series in the background. Now you can lie this or put this to the side, and we're now going to focus on doing the stamping. So I am using the stamps of photopolymer, so I do prefer to use a little bit of a weighted thing behind it. A foam mat is a good idea. And I've mounted mine already on my D clear block, and I'm going to be using Memento Black. So I just tap that. I've got a new camera this week, so I'm just making sure that I'm in the view, because this is the first video I'm making with it. And you're just going to place this design more or less in the middle. Just give it a nice firm press and release. And that's the stamping with the flower. Then to bring in the leaves and the little bit of twirly bits, oops, this one is not sticking that great. I'm going to need to wash this. So if this happens to you and your photopolymer stamps land up being so overused that they get sticky, just wash them in some detergent, so like you would do your dishes. That detergent is fine. So I'm doing that in Granny Apple Green, and I'm coming in there, and I'm coming into there, and that's all I'm going to do with the Granny Apple Green. You can set that one to the side. And now the little blue twirls, we're using Pool Party. And honestly, you're going to see this is not a card that is going to take you all day to create. It's the kind of card that you can whip up. I used my Stamparatus yesterday. Like I say, I had 8 of them to produce, and I used my Stamparatus, and I just went like a little production line. This little dot that also matches the paper that belongs to the Friendly Hello, I'm doing in Melon Mambo. And this creates a gorgeous little speckle that I did a bit of second generation stamping with. And again, you just can pop it in there. It looks a bit sparse. Let's go in there. Right. Now to get the flowers, the color that I did them in this one, I used my Petal Pink dark and light alcohol blends. And what I have been experimenting with is actually using, oh, I've got to pull this open. Let's just move this to the side now. Is actually just doing little lines like this. Now you can try this with the bullet tip that I've got, or you can use the other one. And I have really found that just doing lines like this seems to give me a much better look, floral look, because your petals are not solid. You know, when you look at nature and you look at how the colors of petals are variated, they are not solid lines. And so that's what I've been doing with my flowers lately. I haven't been coloring them in like this. Let me give you an example. I haven't been doing that kind of movement, and I have found I'm definitely a lot happier with the results by just drawing these lines over. They just look a lot more natural to my untrained eye anyway. Hey, if you have the skills, which I don't have, to do a good job of shading, go for it. Then the yellow, I'm using the dark So Saffron, and I am using the broader tip for the center for that. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use my Winker Stella. So if you have a look, I hope this can pick it up on the video. I don't know if it can, but there's a little bit of a shimmer to the flower, and I am literally, let's just get this open. I am always nervous of using Winker Stella because I have previously dumped a whole lot of the glitter on a project I've done before. So now I'm just a little bit nervous when I open it, but I can see that this has got a bit of a glitter to it. Hopefully that's picking it up. So pretty. And as I've mentioned before, if you are not sure of color combinations, there are a few things you can do. The one is you can go on to my website, stampinup.net.project, and over in there I have uploaded a PDF from Stampin' Up giving you ideas of color combinations of different colors. Or the other option, which I have mentioned before, and I'll just get it again, is at the back of every designer series paper pack you get, they tell you the colors. Let me bring that closer for you. They actually tell you what colors are in the paper, and that just takes away so much of the thinking work. It's like wonderful. Now I have, oh, there it is. So what I've done is I made a whole long strip of this little sentiment, hope you have the best birthday, and I white embossed it on black cardstock. And so I'm just going to use my paper snips. This is an economical way of doing sentiments when you are going to be making a lot of projects, or even when you just know that you're going to be making birthday cards at some stage. So I'm going to put this up on some dimensionals. Now I have white dimensionals, but you can get the black dimensionals as well. I'm not too fussed, but if you are particular about that sort of thing, then by all means treat yourself and get yourself some black dimensionals. I just want to position this that we don't lose the blue, but we also, that I'm not going to cut off too much of the design. So I'm happy with that. Then the next thing I want to do is I want to pop in the butterfly little embellishments. And they are from the mini catalog, and they are called brushed brass butterflies. I am loving them. Absolutely loving these little butterflies. They are very adorable. Pop that there. And then the last thing we need to make it look pretty is I'm going to put in one opal round. And as you can see, I like to put my names of my embellishments at the back so that I know what they are, so that if I run out, I can reorder them. So there you have it. 15 minutes it's taken me to make this video, and that is with, obviously I've pre-cut some of the paper. So you should have this card whipped up in next to no time. Over here I've got the softer rainbow, over here I've got the slightly brighter rainbow, but there you can see a gorgeous, gorgeous card that didn't take me very long, and I've just seen I have typically just put a smudge on there. So in order to fix that, I will go and put another little sentiment on there or do something. Let's have a look what will work. I might just do a little one. So even when you're working, and I must have got that green on my fingers somewhere, I might just, that doesn't look too bad, but I might change that and go back and maybe do another stamp on there. So there you go. Even those of us that have been doing this for a while still make boo-boos. Okie dokie. I hope you've been inspired by this. Just so that you know, whatever you have in your stash, use that and make a gorgeous layered card. Tripping up over my words. So that's me for another Friday card making session. Thank you so much for joining me. As I always say, my projects are available on my website, stampinit.stampinup.net, and you do need to click on my projects. I am also on Facebook under Stampinit, Instagram Stampinit, and you can find me on Pinterest under Bernie. And until we meet again next Friday, remember, stamp, eat, sleep, repeat. Bye!